If your music goes viral tomorrow, would you be ready? So, how do you build a professional artist brand? A professional artist brand. Ooh, there's a lot that goes into it. So, from top to bottom, it's really about your image. It's about just coming off as a business person. You don't want to come off as, an amateur that's just trying to figure things out. That's why it's important for you to do your research and to learn as much as you can and to be a part of courses like this. So, part of professionalism is just being knowledgeable about the industry and the craft that you're in. Because if you have enough knowledge, then you just basically you know how to move, who to talk to, and what to say to come off as knowing what you're doing. And professionals get paid for what they do. So that's another way to cross that barrier is to get good enough to where you're getting paid for it. So to have a professional artist brand, it's just everything just has to be organized, consistent across the board. So you need to have your social media looking professional, photo shoots looking professional. Your choice of where it needs to be consistent. It needs to seem like you put thought into the image that you're putting out there. It's not just you're not just randomly wearing different things all the time. Like you have a certain image and that you're living in. I mean, that's how you build trust and branding is about building trust. So that's why it's important to know who you are before you become an artist because you as an artist needs to reflect who you are because that's the only way that you can continuously maintain this artist identity as if it actually ties into your true identity. Now, it might be an exaggeration of your true identity, or it might be a humble version of your true identity, but in some way, it needs to tie into your true identity of who you actually are because that's how you stay rooted and you don't get lost in just trying to fit in with every single trend and changing what you're doing, changing how you dress, and changing your name, and changing your sound, and changing your identity. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what people do. They change their identity on a daily basis. I mean, really, you should only go through, if you're going to rebrand something, it should only be maybe 2 or 3 times in a lifetime that you rebrand. But you see people like rebranding every single day. Every day they're a new person. And that's not how you build a brand. That's how you clout chase. That's how you chase trends. And we're not chasing trends. We're building a brand which will ultimately become our legacy. So logos and visual identity, that's important for your professional look of your brand. When people see your artist name, they should see it in a certain way. And you want to decide that really before people even see your name for the first time. You want to decide that. You want to make sure that it's distinct and it communicates your message, even just by looking at your name, looking at your logo. That's important. So put that type of thought into the artwork that you're making because it needs to communicate about what you believe in, who you are, what you stand for, what you're about, what your music's about. And you need to know those things in order to actually communicate. And all of those things that you create, all the artwork, all of the names, all of the logos, all of the just intellectual properties, your sound, you need to protect all of that. So that's why we make sure that you get your copyrights, your trademark. If you have a distinct logo and that you want to, that you know that you're going to put out there, you're really going to put it on everything, then you want to look into trademarks. You want to look into copyright for your names and for your music, for your lyrics. So make sure everything is protected. And that's part of the thing that we help you do. We help you get things protected and published. So we help you put it out there, but we also help you make sure it's protected before we put it out there for the world. Okay, so remember, part of your brand is, how people interact with you. So social media, your website, that is your storefront. So that needs to be set up right. It needs to be professional. It needs to be updated with all your updated logos, all your updated photos, and It has to be clean. The cleaner it is, the more professional it looks. The more planned out that it looks, the more organized it is, the more professional it looks. If you're on a social media platform, make sure the profile is up to date. That looks unprofessional when you have a profile up, but you haven't posted in 3 years. And I know you, okay, I don't use Instagram like that, or I'm not on Facebook like that. If you're gonna have a page there, it needs to be active because that's how you look professional. When people can go across the board on all platforms or wherever they see you and see that the platform is up to date, that shows professionalism. Anything that makes it seem like you have a team, anything that makes it seem like you got people working for you, that looks professional. If you, when you do photo shoots, have someone else take the photos for you. Get away from selfies. Selfies don't look professional. Photos that are taken professionally look professional. And they don't have to be taken professionally these days. You just need someone who knows how to use the camera on the phone in a way that where they can take professional quality pictures or cinematic photos. And there's settings on the phone that they can use that basically dials it in for them. But you just got to know how to use what you have to give that that look of professionalism, that polished look, that look of organization, or it really kind of looks like there's money behind this, not just some amateur taking selfies. Okay, so now I'm gonna give you an example of why artists trademark names and logos and just a little bit of industry insight.
How soon should we be jumping to get things trademarked? For example, if I have a merchandise line or clothing line associated with my music and there's an image or a phrase on there that I want to get trademarked and I'm a few months old, I'm not that established, but I know that there's a demand for what I have. Should I be rushing to get that trademarked, or should I let a couple M's come in the bank first to show that it's a viable product in the market and then go after it? What do you think?
I would say wait until you have a little bit of money in there. Not that it costs that much to trademark, but you do want to make sure that it's something that you are going to actually pursue before you go through any trouble with it. So, give it a, I don't want to put a dollar sign on it.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to make 200,000 or something, but just make sure you're serious about it before you trademark. Now, just so we're clear, trademark it can be a name, word, logo, or a symbol that represents a company. So when people use let's say you have a logo for your artist name and somebody uses that logo in a way that could be defamation. Mm-hmm. You just want to have your ducks in a row, that you have your trademark and you have your, just make sure this is paperwork in general, not the most exciting stuff, but good reminder.
What is Smart Rapper? In this video, we're going to talk about how to trademark your artist name. Okay, check this out. I'm Rob Love with a Smart Rapper. You're about to get smarter. Here's the thing. You're going to want to register your service mark at some point in your career, right? Service mark is different from a trademark. Now, registration tells the world that you're using a certain name and that it has goodwill attached to it. Registration also shows how long you've been using the name, and it makes it clear to the law that you own it. All right. Now, if there's a legal presumption, the other person has to prove that you don't own it. So you need to lock your name in
right now.
Now, if there isn't a legal presumption, you have to prove that you do own it, obviously. In addition to these legal benefits, registering makes sure that your name comes up if someone else searches it, right? You can go into the trademark database and everything and search it. And you can also put that nice R next to your name, the little R, because it's registered, okay? The U.S. Patent Trademark Office has a very good website for this, uspto.gov. You'll find it if you Google it. Now, all the forms are on there. It's super easy to do. And here's the thing, you can fill out the application online, which isn't really that great of an idea because this is a very tricky and technical area. It's important to do anything that have to do with rights to actually go through a trademark lawyer. Yes, all but one of my trademarks I did through a trademark lawyer, right? And it can get expensive, so you don't need to do it immediately, but definitely do it at some point. Trademark lawyers specifically. Now, if you think about having a company hold your service mark instead of you, which is actually what I did. I have an LLC that just just holds my trademarks because it protects them. There's an extra layer of protection. But it's important to figure this out and know this before you start to do that. Because if you get sued or something happens to you and you as a person own it, then they can actually own your trademark or get that in the lawsuit. So don't get confused. All right, just want to let you know that. All right. If you put yourself on the application, it's going to go to you. But if you have an LLC, which you can set up and have videos on how to do that, you can set up an LLC in 5 minutes.
Stop lying.
Really, you can. And then you can assign the trademark when you go through the trademark lawyer where the LLC actually has ownership of the trademarks. Just get a little bit smarter. It's Smart Rapper.
Oh, God.
All right, and for your assignment this week, we're going to be working on creating your artist logo, updating your social media bios, and establishing your brand colors. So let's work on this assignment. Let's get this going, and then let us know if you have any questions, and hit us up on the live stream so we can connect. And also make sure you sign up for a Fairgate event, and we will be working on all of these things that are on the assignment, but specifically, like, we'll be helping you with your logo, your social media bio, and helping you with your brand colors, and kind of helping you with your image all the way around, photo shoots, the whole wop. So just make sure you sign up for one or all of the Fairgates that's happening soon, and we'll see you there.